Okay, so again, the button that I know. So Happy New Year's. I put it as unlisted, which I don't think is going to show up in notifications because I just wanted to make a quick video and post it. But I haven't learned how to do that. It's so funny. I'm like, on this new laptop, I'm like, I have the most back-ass way of going around and getting stuff. I'm like searching for built-in camera, laptop camera, whatever. And so far as I can tell, the only way that I'm able to access the camera is through an app. And the only app I've gone to or whatever is this one. So here we are. Yeah, I think I'll have to post it on Patreon, and that's cool. Okay, great. So, all right, great. Everyone have their pens and papers together because we're going to start the meeting now. Just kidding. It's New Year's Eve. These are blue roses. I'm going to try to stop saying as much. How you doing? How you doing? I put eye makeup on just for this. Okay, so this video, I was thinking a lot. So my ex-husband / late husband, Patrick, is, we separated before he passed away. I feel the funniest thing. I asked him to help me make this. But like when we met, I knew he was like, okay, for example, we had a wedding in India at Haridwar, which is called the House of Divine. It's at the foot of the Himalayas, right in Rishikesh. And it's a big rock. Okay, so just to be clear. And we didn't ask. We got engaged. I have this all, I mean, I have it all. I'm pretty sure that I have it all in my brain, but I remember having a book of it that one of his like weird friends stole. It had all of our like dates, the first day we kissed, da, da, da. The woman's name is Dale. What the fuck are her daughter's name? Dabney. And I'll remember. Totally batshit crazy. 2 daughters in Boca Raton. Whatever. I'm gonna be calling out all the motherfuckers. So if you want to make right with me, now is the best time to do it. That being said, so where was I? When we went to India, we went in a group. It was a meditation retreat. 2015. We got married September 25th, 2015. 2014. My dad's stroke was in 2015. February 25th, 2014 was our Indian wedding. Oh yeah, just about our wedding. Oh yeah, so we had just gotten engaged so we got married September 25th. When is Memorial Day? Memorial Day is the one that's like in June, right? There's Memorial Day and Labor Day, right? Memorial Day is the one that's like in June. We got engaged on Memorial Day. And so Labor Day is the one where I think people go back to work, right? Labor, I don't know. And then, so we were in India then. So September. So it was like 3 months after we got engaged. We're living together. We've been together. We knew, but we had simply asked to do like a meditation in I was thinking about it today, and I don't speak to Shonjesh anymore, our friend, our like meditation friend, because of a bunch of things that happened. But I was like, I wonder if they talked about this, because how the fuck I said, "Can we do, like" we did meditation in the morning and meditation each night and, like, did whatever, yoga, all this other stuff in the day. And I was like, "Can we do, like, one" I said, "Can we, have one of our meditation sessions, one of our 15-minute meditation sessions, just, like, in honor of, like, Patrick and I's commitment to each other." This is 4 friends we know really well on, like, a private retreat in India, you know what I mean? So it was like, uh, I don't you know what I mean? Like, I told you, I mean, I've mentioned that he was really wealthy, and that was, I think, what, there's all these leeches on him, and they knew that I was a fucking lion, and they didn't like it. I called everyone out. We were at the freaking peninsula one day. This guy Craig, after chilling all day at Patrick's Cabana, ordering food, drinking, dude orders fries and chicken tenders to go. Do you know how much that cost at the peninsula? $75 easily. But no one was ever looking out for my husband the way that I did, you know? And people started to see it and they didn't like it. Their free meals were getting cut off, their fucking everything. Anyway, that's here nor there. Dale, Dabney, what is the other daughter's name? She was like who is an aspiring socialite? I'll remember her name. T. They all talked so much shit about me. Patrick would leave his phone on so that they thought that people be stupid. I gotta remember her name. Mortimer. She changed her last name to Mortimer. Mortimer was their family name. Dabney, Dale. Anyway, what are the chances? Picture it. Haridwar, 2014, September 15. So I tell Chandras, can we have one of our little meditations, like to honor Patrick and I's commitment, like I had my ring and stuff. And he's like, yeah. The night before my huge, Indian weddings are 4 hours. They packed each day into 1 hour or so. It was like 4 or 5 hours with so many substances that we could never, ever tell you what they were. So the night before, we're at this place called Ananda. It's at the foot of the Himalaya. Are you ready? It's the foot of the Himalayas, and it's dope. We go to dinner, and Chandra says, "Listen, so tomorrow I've organized for you guys a Indian wedding, blah, 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 blah. And going on about the time and the driver and this and that and this and the priest, the Hindu priest, he's a North Indian. You can tell I've got pictures. I have the 4-hour DVD of our wedding, but he's got the stripes, which means like North Indian or something. And I was like looking at Patrick, like, and also just like, it's one of those moments like, we're just engaged, like we just want to. So looking back, I think Patrick probably had to have set this up because that night, we got back with like this little, it was pretty big actually, this bungalow. And he said, "Hey, listen, I felt really uncomfortable to say anything with Chandrash, but we can like tell him, to do something else, like this feels like a lot of pressure and like we don't have to like have a wedding ceremony tomorrow." My eyes are gonna water. He's so funny, man. He was always funny. He like was in his robe. He's like, "I'm marrying you tomorrow. And then I'm marrying you in the States. And then I'm gonna marry you every single year until the day I die." Okay, so then the next morning, there's like 4 Suburbans pull out. Now that I'm like telling like the actual details of the story, I don't know how Patrick and Chandras didn't organize this. I don't think Chandras would have taken it upon himself, like all the videographer, photographer. They were both a guy with a camera and a guy with what do you call it? Taking pictures. My best friend, one of my best friends, Juju, was there. So I was like, hey, I'm getting married tomorrow. Will you be my maid of honor? By the way, one thing my sister and I talked about last Christmas, I left her a message. So I was like, okay, so you want to marry me? It's so funny because like I was kind of like the whole time, and I guess it's like a codependent sort of thing. I don't like labels, but I was like, is this gonna scare like my fiance, my boyfriend, whatever, away, like what Chandresh is doing? I just asked to, like, I literally was like, because the meditations would go like this: focus on your third eye, blah 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 blah. It wasn't guided, like we were all, I'm not gonna master meditators, but he just would say literally maybe a minute or two of talking about the breath and would shut up. So I was like, can you, like, you say one of those minutes, just like, and congratulations to Ashley and Patrick. No way does that translate into a full-on Indian wedding with priests, 25 pundits. Pundits are, so there's very much a caste system in India, but it's pungent or pundits. I think I'm confusing. I'm wanting to say pundit. Hey, they're usually orphans, and there was like 25, 27 boys. So we walked. Okay, so I say to him when we get home, I'm like, babe, I can tell him like this is absolutely nothing close. He told us at dinner, and we're sitting at the dinner table, and he's like, and so this, and then the car will be here at this time, and I've organized an Indian wedding for you at Haridwar, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, wedding, what wedding? But I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking at Patrick, and Patrick is like, just like not really responding either. And because I think the way he was saying everything, I felt that both of us could only just be like grateful, because he was literally listing all these things that he had done for us that day to organize the following day. But when we got back, I said, you know, I can tell him, my love, I can tell him that this is too much. Da, da, da. He goes, he's like, I told you. He grabbed me and he was like, I'm marrying you tomorrow. Like, marrying you in the States. Anyway, so we wake up the next morning, and I'm kind of like, so after that, like, I feel like this man definitely wants to marry. So funny telling this story. We go to bed and we wake up, and there was like these pajamas that came with the room. We had decided those are just going to be our outfits. Those are just white. It's like white top and white pants. And so we go out. I didn't like do my hair well. I mean, like, I don't do shit anyway. My hair looked literally just like this. It was a little bit longer, but I had like a clip in it. I had like foundation maybe. And thank God I didn't wear mascara. I was crying the whole time. So two Suburbans to be anywhere in India is a lot. I don't know if you've ever been to India, anywhere in India. Well, at least northern India. That's all I can speak of. But so people are waiting, and we're like getting in the car. We get in the car. We did something at the front desk. I don't know what. But anyway, we get in the car, and I was like, what's a fucking rush, man? Like, can we get a coffee? I think I remember like one of my needs not being met, and like being frustrated but still being happy. And we drive up there, and per usual, every place you go in India, doesn't matter how filthy it is, You have to take off your shoes before you go in. I understand the spiritual thing of this, but in India, that trip, the only trip that I've been to India, I happened to have a fucking cut on my toe. So I had a Band-Aid and Band-Aids in my pocket the whole trip. Because every single time we would go somewhere, I would be like concerned about germs getting in my foot. So I was overwhelmed when there's like 25 to 30. It was a room the size of probably like my bedroom. It's like this and this. And not a big room, huge rock in the middle, maybe walls. I'm not sure if there's a ceiling. And all these kids, and they're chanting Sanskrit mantra. So that's what they do for their life to raise consciousness on this planet. That's the short explanation for their kind of duty in India, in that system. And they went nonstop the whole 5 hours. So a typical Indian wedding is 4 days, I guess. So they put each hour into each day into an hour. My love. And like after we figured that out, we were laughing. We always laughed, but so and then there's like, okay, and so Chandresh is the translator for us, right? So there's like the main priest, and then there's like two like side priests, but Chandresh is kind of like taking over the spot because he speaks English, and the main priest is like in between Patrick and I, and we're sitting here. My best friend Juju's there, and the whole room was circled with these children singing. And some of them I know some Sanskrit mantras, like I know Triambakam they sang, Gayatri they sang, but not like by itself. It was like flowing into just Sanskrit. Like, and I taught Patrick, I'm gonna cry, I don't want to cry, but I taught Patrick these mantras, and he like even recognized Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dioyonam Prachodayat. He was so fucking cute one night. He came to me with a piece of paper and wrote it out phonetically because and I've had students study it. I've never had a student that ever asked me that. And it was probably why he had learned it. But he was like, Om Bor, like, so cute. And we like looked at each other. But so there's this rock at Haridwar. And I think that's why everything, not only was everything very fast, but they were packing each day into 1 hour. I was crying. So we're sitting next to each other, Patrick and me. And then there's a circle. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're sitting next to each other, and then there's the rock. And then there's like on the exterior wall is the choir, if you will, the Sanskrit choir. And then my friend Juju was like to the right, and then Chandra's wife, Ruprit, was on the left, and the guy was filming like right on the top. And then there was like people around like helping because there was a lot of things involved, including but not limited to flowers, several different liquids that I would never be able to tell you what they are. Some were milky substances. Because they would give it to Patrick and then give it to me. Sometimes we would rub the things together and put it on the rock. Sometimes just he would put it. I was so proud of him, like 2 hours in. And they're like, like it's like a stop, like a sushi style wedding. But I didn't know what they were actually doing. I thought it was just fast because I don't know why it's fast. But and also that there was like a little bit of a lag because of the language barrier. And Patrick was, my husband is like the sweetest. My late husband, we separated. Well, I guess I'm making this also because Sloan told me that when someone passes away, that's their birthday in heaven. So today, I was thinking on this when I was showering. On this day, a year ago, he was alive. Tomorrow, he was in Mexico. He was probably getting drunk at his place. That's like, I've been there, like I know where he was. And so he had a few private planes. So what happened is he flew back on his plane on the 2nd. So his death birthday's in like 2 days, I guess. And or his heaven birthday, sorry. And this is the story I got that's been undisputed. He brought 2 Mexican girls back with him. I don't know if they were Mexican or if they met in Mexico, and to his home, and in the States, one of them, and he took a nap and didn't wake up. And these girls that had like flown private over the border with him, I don't know who the person that they contacted me. No one else knows that version of the story, and I'm not saying it to discredit him in any way. I love you. I'm making this in your honor. I have a longer project that I'm working on for him because he is like a soul that needs to be free from some things that, I don't know, right now I'm just kind of free flowing, but I don't think a lot of people knew who the real Patrick Rinker Hall was. And maybe I didn't even. But I'd rather celebrate what I'm pretty sure I know than not, I guess. He changed so many people's lives. With his decisions, his actions that he's taken on this planet are now changing people's lives and will continue to change them for the rest of their lives and for I don't even know how long. He always used to talk about legacy. And one of his last companies, I don't want to say anything about that, but you did the legacy of 20 men. Don't be stupid. But I'm doing something for you anyway. I was telling my friend recently, I was like, I can't explain it. I feel like maybe it's just me in the holidays and like stuff, but I'm like, I feel like, or maybe I just want this. Because like my dad being in heaven is a different relationship. I mean, like he's my best friend, but like different relationship in terms of like what I can discuss with him or something. Whereas like Patrick and I were best friends, like we had such a pure connection. We were just always like little kids, like laughing. Oh, I was so proud of him in the middle of the wedding. And so they're speaking in Hindi, and Chandras is translating. But as we're going and as they're seeing how fast we can go, they're taking us faster. Meanwhile, I'm like sobbing, and the white nightgowns that came with our room that we decided to wear to like match, I completely snotted all over mine, so I was using Patrick's already. And So as they like it was like as they saw that we could go faster, they started pushing us faster. So they for example, this one thing, the only thing I could think is like when you pour gravy on Massachusetts, when you pour gravy on mashed potatoes, it was like that, but like obviously not clean or anything. It was like copper, like maybe Aladdin lives in there sometimes. But it had like a white milk and Chandrash. This was like because like we had separate things and then things we had to do together. So Chandrash is like, Patrick, pour it on we had to do a lot of things on the rock, rub things on the rock together, pour things on the rock together. The only thing we didn't do to the rock is fuck the rock. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that like that, but so Patrick was like so dutiful, you know. He just like took this thing and like he's like you have to rub it onto the rock as you pour it. And he was just like being so careful to pour it so perfectly. Um, and then so after like 3 hours, which went by fast, but like I was running out of place. I was crying, and I still think about why I cried so much. And lately, I was like, maybe it's because I knew I was gonna lose him. Maybe it was because I know so much of it was because I was so happy. So we had already opened up Agni. Agni is the second yoga school that I had in West Hollywood. And Agni is a Sanskrit word and it means fire. It's a specific fire. It happens in one place in your solar plexus chakra. That's your belly chakra. The purpose of Agni is to burn away, to literally burn away anything, everything that does not serve. Okay? To make space for the new. It's a kind of a there's also the Agni Yoga, the Agni Society of New York. That is a different thing. Anyway, it's a part of the Indian wedding. So they take us out. We didn't know that, but so they take us out. It's India in September, so whatever, and a hot day. And there's a circle of fire and also like these little fires. I forgot what we did because I was getting so tired at this point, and I was also getting like distracted in my head about like blowing my nose and how gross I must look, and this videographer on top of us and this photographer on top of us. And I'm like, okay, my wedding pictures are the worst. I didn't have that thought at all, but anyway, I'm gonna blow my nose. And I don't have Patrick's sleeve. So we go outside. So cute. Juju, my maid of honor, one of my favorite humans on this planet. She's like, Ashley, Agni. I'm like, wait, there's more. And also, I have a thing about like disgusting things. And so I didn't know what all these liquids were, you know, and so I just wanted to wash my hands and shower already. And like I had to change my toe band-aid by then, I'm sure. So we go outside and we do this fire. Like we did a meditation. It's not a meditation. Like they were guiding us to do things, but like we were holding hands and gotta watch the DVD again. But then we walked. He walked. No, he walked. I don't remember. We walked each other around. He walked me around, I think, 8 times, and I walked him around 8 times, but I think we did 4 each time or something like this. And then together 4 times, something. It was really fucking hot. And they said, "You're married." And they were like all happy. And I was like, Patrick, we need to go home right now. I need to wash my hands. You can see the picture of like I have like a few pictures from our wedding, and he's like, and I'm like, can we go wash hands? I also had my ring. My dad's like, do not bring your ring to India. Someone will cut your finger off for it. And I'm like, I'm not leaving it anywhere. So I had like the rock like stuffed into my hand, basically the 2 weeks we were there. But uh it was a beautiful day. It was yeah, I guess so. I feel like it's definitely been longer than 15 minutes or so. But and I'm crying happy tears, but tomorrow will be New Year's Day. He died a year ago. So tomorrow will be New Year's Day, and he died the day after. He died 1-2-2-1. And the last time I talked, this is how crazy my ex-husband was. So when he passed, I think he was 55, really young. When he passed, um, the last time we spoke was maybe, I feel like I definitely lived in Venice. But I want to say a year before he died. Maybe a year and a half before he died. And I called him, or he called me. Probably he called me. You guys don't worry, just ignore it. Because at that point, you guys relax. It's been like fireworks, gunshots. That's the first time I heard somebody like, put it up, put it up. Silencio! So, stop it, Hondo. Think of that stupid girl's name. She punched Patrick in the face, Dabney's sister. It's like not Libsny, and she's like obsessed with my sister-in-law, which is really funny. She's like a star fucker. I'll remember it. Don't you worry. I'll remember everyone. Oh, y'all motherfuckers, and especially the ones that kicked me when I was down. Dale, you stole my diary from my home that I welcomed you into. Dale Mortimer. Dabney Mortimer. Starts with an L. It's not Libney. It's like Litany. Anyway. So, what was the point of that? Oh yeah, so I guess his heaven birthday will be in 2 days. And I'm going to name this video Fully Loaded because a lot of his companies were called like Full, and Patrick told me when we met that he had never, that since the age of 14, the longest he had been sober was 8 months. We met when he was 46, something like this. But he changed my life for the better and forever. And because of the way he lived and because of some of the trash he attracted, like the Mortimer family, blood-sucking leeches. And I'm not speaking out of opinion. A 60-year-old woman that goes and stays in a 34-year-old woman's home doesn't steal her diary and read it to her fiance. That woman is insane. Dabney punched my ex-husband in the face, Dabney Mortimer, and I will remember that other girl's name. They were so mad when he bought me a ring. Like, I guess he had been taking care of them. He took care of a lot of people, which was like not my business until it like didn't become my business, but he was unhappy. When we were in India, he asked me to call he had me call Dale. He had me call he told me everything and how he felt about people and stuff, and he's like, I want to start a new clean life. Like, I don't want these fucking strings anymore. I'm like, yeah, me either. It'd be fucking great. You guys, New Year's is not fireworks. Wrong holiday. Silencio! Who the fuck does... I mean, okay. A couple of people texted me today and I got a New Year's fireworks thing and that was fun. But since when are fireworks on New Year's? I don't know. Maybe that's silly. I just thought that was 4th of July. And also, like, I don't know, too many gunshots in LA. Save your fireworks. Put it up your butthole. Or your bunghole. Anyway, no, he warned me and I didn't understand really that so many people's livelihoods were dependent on him. He owned 30 companies when we were married. He had a business, you know, he had a lot of people. Unlike other people, that he was a self-made boss. Anyway, and a genius. No one smarter than Patrick. No one better than Patrick when he was on point. I was gonna wrap up with something. Before I was saying, like, the way that he lived his life might not oh yeah, and the people that sort of were attracted to him. Can you... the people that... and I remember, like, a year in seeing, like, because he protected himself. By the time I met him, he had been a millionaire for, like, a multi-millionaire since he was 26. So he was like 40. Actually, he's like 44, I think, when we met. And I was like 32 because my dad's stroke and stuff happened when I was 33. I'm sorry. And he was like, people, and I didn't really understand. So when it comes to money, this is just a side that I've thought about bringing up in a video, but it's just going to happen now. So I dated, before Patrick, I dated a guy named Jonathan who was a hedge fund manager. I think I mentioned in a video, if you've seen it, he used to ask me to look, she shorted stocks. And he would ask me to look at the graphs and say, are they going up or down, up or down? 90% of the time I was right. I made him $400,000 in one day. That's a lot of money. I remember we got in a fight and he was like, Ashley, I'm sorry, I lost $1 million in the market today. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do? Like, so was that my price tag? You know? But men are funny about money, you know? I was like, okay, so you'll make $1 million back tomorrow. What, like, that's not an excuse to disrespect me and like treat me bad. But I do remember, like, that is a significant amount of money and does shed a little light of why you're such an asshole. But Patrick was like, one time, or the first time we traveled, or another time we traveled, I don't know. I remembered how my dad used to always go to people, like, for business meetings and stuff, like go to meet people, travel to meet people places. There's like a joke we have, like the ATL turnaround, you know, because he'd like be living in airports. Every place I traveled with my husband, wherever we were, people flew from everywhere to come see him, to have coffee with him, to whatever. And I started to understand this kind of thing, like, to expect that someone might show up, like, when we're in the Bahamas for this story. So we're in the Bahamas, and we're staying at the Ritz-Carlton, I think, and he's like, "We're having dinner with this guy, he's flying in from Miami, blah, 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 blah." Incidentally, a hedge fund manager, but doesn't short stocks. But incidentally, his it's a very small world. His girlfriend went to my yoga studio in Miami, Sunny Isles Yoga. I don't remember her name, but I remember her face. Anyway, so he would like people would just come to him, you know? Um, what the fuck was the point of the Bahamas? Oh, so this one guy comes, we have dinner with him that night. He leaves, flies back to Miami. You know, these people are flying in private, most of them. But then I noticed there were also people like my dad that were catching like commercial flights and stuff to go and try to have a chance with this. He did a lot of like angel investing, and you know, he always wanted to. He was a serial entrepreneur. No one can ever have that title besides Patrick Minkerhall. Serial entrepreneur. That's what Forbes dubbed him as, like, sometime or something. He used to write columns for Forbes as well. His passion for starting things and creating things was inspiring, to say the least. So, and for supporting people. So I guess I wanted to say that because of the fact that from 14 till when he passed away at 55, he was not sober for longer than 6 to 8 months. I'm not sure there will be many people, or I hope there will be, that carry on and speak on about how great and beautiful his heart was. Perhaps his soul was a bit tortured. My dad, I feel like they're up there in heaven together, you know? My dad, because I would call him all the time when we would fight. Whenever Patrick would start drinking, it was just, I haven't, before I saw Patrick's drinking, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it since. It was I'm not being sarcastic here. It was scary, really scary. Like that, like when you read I've read the big book, the Alcoholics Anonymous. Let me just sip of wine. The Alcoholics Anonymous big book a lot, and maybe 4 times front to back, and uh, there's like a lot of people. If you're an alcoholic like us, these alcoholics, like that's who they're talking about. Um, but he was trying, man. Um, I wanted to tell you what I forgot the last time we spoke, which was like um, Shiva, my dog before, had cancer, and I called him. He knew Shiva. Shiva and him and I lived together for 3 years. Um, so his thing was alcohol. I would always be like, dude, are you doing blow or something? How are you drinking Grey Goose for 7 days straight? And like, he would pass out, but then just wake up and drink again. Like, he got sloppy, but like more than that, he was like maniacal, you know? Well, you don't know. But anyway, uh I'm sorry it's coming off all over the place. I'm working on a project for him. Some bits of it might be in it. Um Last time I talked to him, I'm like, hey, you know, and I'm like And there aren't a lot of people I trust to like call, even now, you know? I mean, there are, like I'm fine. I have more, I don't want, it's hard for me to trust people. It gives me anxiety. But, so I called him and I was like, Shiva's, you know, like basically they told me like when she stops eating, bring her in, you know, for to be euthanized. And he answered the phone and he's like, "You were supposed to be my wife." And I could tell immediately he was not sober. And I'm like, Patrick, I gotta talk to you. She was really sick and she has cancer. He was like, and that was the thing that I understand now. I can't take personally. I would say something like that to him, but he didn't hear it. It wasn't like he was dismissing it. He was like, "You were supposed to be my wife." I'm like, "Shiva's dying," and and he's like, "You were supposed to be my wife. Alcohol got in the way. Fuck that shit." Talking about alcohol. He goes, "I'm doing other stuff now." I'm like, "What are you doing? What's up? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "I'm doing DMT and not acid, but and first of all, I thought I like had heard of DMT or knew what it was. DMT, from what I understand, is like the chemical that it's like what you experience when you die. I don't know. I think when I heard him say DMT, I thought MDMA, and I think maybe he said MDMA and DMT, and I was like, huh? Why are you doing that? Anyway, um, so that's like New Year's Eve. I was feeling kind of, maybe I'll go live. I don't know. I was feeling like kind of like, it's so funny. I was like, it's just me and the dogs on New Year's Eve. I'm like, it's just me and the dogs on New Year's Eve. But you know, I feel like people are like, not that many people, like a few people are like messaging me and like feeling bad or something. I'm like, I'm good. Believe me, like you and maybe 4 other people would be the only person I'd want to hang out with. Okay, let's see how this goes. 47 minutes. All right. Now this video is titled Fully Loaded, and I intended to accomplish some funny and positive energy and vibes for my husband who's in heaven. His heaven birthday is in 2 days. Oh my god, this is so funny.